typically preach, and that is we're going to estimate how much of this we need because I cannot find the measuring cup. Typically, you want a measuring cup because that is going to help you identify the exact amounts. And this stuff isn't cheap, so measuring it is quite important. I can't find it, so we're going to wing it this time, and I'll make sure I have a measuring cup for the next time. This is something I do every couple of weeks. If you use Prestine Blue or Clear Blue or Advanced Blue, any of these products like this, you typically only need to add them every 2 weeks. And so it's time to do it, so I thought I would do a live demonstration out here. I have my products out. We're going to be first, and we're going to test the pH, and we're going to use these strips. Now, I know I'll get some people that'll say I'm using strips. I have no credibility, and that's fine. You can say that. And if you don't like that, use Taylor drops. That's what I use plenty of times. I have another YouTube channel, a cooking channel, and the same thing happens anytime I might show lighter fluid. I get crucified. Even though you burn it off, and if you know how to use it, it's fine. Again, strips for what we're using is fine. We're going to go ahead and first just check the alkalinity and pH. Once again, we're doing our bi-weekly maintenance. The ground does need vacuumed a little. The water is clear. The pump's on over there, got a little water coming out of the, there's a fountain that's pushing water up just a little bit, aerating it. Let's go ahead and we're just going to put this under the water. It's nice and cool actually, for just a moment, and bring it back up and check to see how this stands up to the colors on the bottle. Which is right here. I'm just telling you, for everyday people, this is perfectly fine to use. Come on over. The chlorine's low. That is right around there. We've got that maybe a little bit high. It's not too bad. And then we've got the down there. So your pH and alkalinity is really the only two numbers we care about right here. And they look close enough, so if you can see there. So we're going to go ahead and say that is fine this time. And now we're going to go ahead and test the water for our copper that's inside. And this is what we're going to be using. Hello, Frisk Dreamer, welcome in. And Ariana Olive, it's hard to see, Oliveris, welcome in, joining in. We're doing this is what I use to keep the pool clear. And you just have to do this twice a week, and you'll be fine. The pool will stay clear year-round if you do this process. So we got our test kit out here, and we're going to go ahead and first, the instructions are pretty. Fill the tube up with 10 millimeter line with a sample of water. Add 5 drops of copper A. You invert it and it add 5 drops of copper B. Then we got to wait 3 minutes. Now most of you, or a lot of you, probably use chlorine, and that's fine, but this is an easy system to keep your water clear. You just go ahead and take your test tube here. Get it pretty much to the 10 millimeter mark. And then we're going to use copper A. And we just do 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the lid on this. Welcome in. Whoop, the wind's about to blow that away. Starting to get windy. Might get some storms here. Trying to get this all done. We're going to go ahead and flip this thing up. And we're going to flip it back. Got 3 of you in here. Thanks for jumping in. I appreciate it. Like if you're enjoying the video. We're doing a little test today of our copper for Prestine Blue or Advanced Blue. And we're going to go ahead and add 5 drops of copper drop number B. So, and the wind is picking up. Whoops, got to take the lid off first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just like we did before, we're going to invert after we put the lid on one time. But now we've actually got to wait 3 minutes. And while we wait, and I can look and see, we are at 6 minutes and we'll call it 6 minutes and 15 seconds live here. So at 9:15, it'll be 3 minutes. We're going to then look in here and see if we can identify how much copper we do have. So we'll be able to see how much of that advanced blue we're going to need to add to the pool. This little kit actually comes right here with this, and you can just place it right there while we wait. So at 9 minutes and 15 seconds, we'll wait. You can just sit here, take a look at the nice pool that we got, the clear, nice water. Drink in case you get thirsty while you're doing it. And we're going to go ahead and let this go 3 minutes. I actually left the paper inside that I need to tell this. And this is already, if you can see there, I don't know if you can tell, getting a little tint of blue. But just hang tight. I'm going to run indoors and get a paper that I need so we can identify how much we need to add, if any, here in just a moment. And I do have the paper now. So this is the chart you would use. And what we're going to do is determine how much copper is in our pool so we'll know exactly how much of the advanced blue we need to add for this treatment. And once we're done today, we won't need to do this again for a couple of weeks. So yeah, welcome in. It's me, John, and we're just waiting to check and see how much copper is in the pool. Everything looks great. Have you got your pool up and running Memorial Weekend? If you haven't, it is definitely the time, the season to get it going. Right here, you could start to see a little tint of blue going in that. So we're going to see how much we need to add to it. Then we won't do it again for a couple of weeks. So we're at 8 minutes and 57 seconds. So let's go ahead and wait about 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and we're going to go ahead and test this. We'll take this card right here, which tells you based on the color. Now, this can be kind of difficult, but if it's on this spectrum, it'll be pretty easy. And up here, it's kind of hard sometimes to identify in the middle. We're going to place the card down, and let me just go ahead and put this right here on the table. This has definitely got some color to it. You should be able to see that blue. So what you do now is take the lid off of this. Like I'm going to remove the lid and set it like that. Now look at that. See how you can see the color inside? Let me move my hands around. Are there any other tests that are required for the pool? Yeah, you want to check the pH and alkalinity is going to be your #1 things, which we already checked that. Before you do this, you have to make sure your pH and your alkalinity are in check. Typically between 7.2 and 7.6 in the pH and your alkalinity, 100 to 140, something like that's okay. Let's get up close here, and I'm going to look off camera with you. You kind of get in here and close one eye a little bit, and you can see it's, you can also, if you go over, you'll start to, it's hard to identify here, but the color will change. So if you're going over it and you notice it gets much darker, when you go over the actual color, you know it's lighter than that. This looks to me like about 0.2 to 0.3, to be honest, because when you start to go over these up here, it gets, you can see the darkness come into it. So that is darker than the actual color of the water. We're going to call it 0.3 on this one. And then once we're done with that, all we do is you could just toss that away. You can rinse this out with your pool water, and then you'll want to put it up for next time. Then we're going to look at this chart. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I've misplaced my measuring device. That's important. You really need that, and I don't have it, because you're going to want to make sure you don't put too much or too little in whenever you add the chemicals, because if you put too much, you're wasting expensive money, and if you put too little, it may not maintain. But today we're just going to go ahead and guess. We'll look at this chart here, which I just used a printer, so if it gets wet, it's fine. We're at 0.3 right down there at the bottom. We're going to go over. Now this is actually about a 15,000 gallon pool, and you can see it don't quite go there. I go at about 22 or 23, 0.3. Actually 14,000 is 18, so I'd go at about 19 or 20, and that's going to go ahead and get your copper up to where it needs to be for the next 2 weeks. You would go ahead and match, and you can Google Prestine Blue chart, and you can find this based on how much you have. And they do have some, I think, that goes up higher than this. This is the one I have, but we're going to go with the 14,000. The one I had before was 16,000. This one don't go that high. So we'll try about 20 ounces. But like I said, we don't have any way to measure that. Let me get a measuring cup. That's what we can do. So now we just got a little measuring cup, and if memory serves me right, 8 ounces is a cup. So if this is a half a cup, 2 of these would be 8 ounces. And if I'm wrong, let me know, because I may be wrong. All right, so let's go ahead and get this advanced blue here. And we'll go ahead and start out with the first little portion of it. And we'll just go ahead and put that in there. I'll show you it going in there in a minute. Should be about 8 ounces. We're going to go ahead and do 12. I'm going a little under today because I'm not 100% sure I'm right on my math. And I know that's going to be fine going forward. You can see it goes in there pretty good. And then we're going to go ahead and add the clean. Now you want to add about 2 ounces of this. And I'm just going to add a little bit. No big deal. If you do this every couple of weeks, everything will be fine. But the main thing you want to do next is go ahead and shock it. And I've got a couple of bags here. You can get whatever shock you want. This is for 12,000 gallons of water. And I'm going to put 2 bags in. So equivalent to 24,000. It's a little bit of an overkill for sure. I never recommend putting more in than you need. But if you put more than you need, it's going to make sure your pool is bacteria free for sure. Just like that. You never really pre-mix it. We're just putting it straight into the pool like that. And I do have a little rust here. That's just on the rail though. And now we're going to go ahead and go the other way. Kind of mix it around a little bit. Appreciate you if you're in here today. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. It's easy, clear pool John here. Not the professional pool guy, but I've been able to keep my pool clear using different methods, and this is the one that I've stuck to recently, and it works great. You just got to maintain it every couple of weeks. Once we're done, we won't do nothing for 2 weeks. Just keep your pump running. Look at that clouds up there. Maybe got some storms rolling in. I picked this time of night too because it is sun's going down. You want to go ahead and add the shock while the sun does go down. If anybody else uses Prestine Blue or any of these products, there's a clear blue. The one we're using here is advanced blue. And then we just go ahead and shock the pool. Let me know. And hey, in 2 weeks, if everything goes well, I will jump on here this next time with a measuring cup. We'll check it and see how it compares to this video. See where the chlorine or the copper levels are and all that. So if you have any questions, let me know. So that's pretty much it. Simple system. Just go ahead and do this every couple of weeks. I'll see you guys in the next one, and thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate you dropping by. Thank you. Trying to find the end button. Y'all have a great day.